With that, for everybody who is joining, welcome. This is Grouphug's bi-weekly webinar. We do webinars about all things solar, sustainable homes, and anything that our community wants to hear about. This week, we're doing a topic that I'm really personally excited about called Earth Shelter Homes. And we have Jon and Amanda from Formworks Building who are going to show us a presentation about their work. It's always weird on Zoom. I'm pointing to you technically, but everybody's windows look different.
Yeah.
A little bit about us. So I'll give you guys a 1-minute overview of Grouphug if you are new here, and then I'm going to kick it over to Jon and Amanda. So hello. At Grouphug, we make ridiculously good-looking solar panels that are easy to use. That's the whole mission of the company. I'm Krystal. I'm the founder and the head designer here. Our first product, our flagship product, is called a window solar charger. It's a solar panel designed for people who maybe don't have rooftop access, want to take a small step in getting started, but don't know where to start. So I'm sitting at my desk right now. I always have one. I always have one right near me. All you do is you hang the solar panel in your window. It's designed to look like home decor. There's a built-in battery and USB port, so it makes it really easy to charge devices off the grid. It's intended to be your first step in solar.
Very cool. Very cool.
If you want any more information, this talk is not about Grouphug, so if you want more information, go to grouphugsolar.com. You'll find everything you need to know about the product, blog posts, and things like that. And if you want to follow our journey, follow us on Instagram. We are Grouphug Solar. We post almost daily content about policy, inspiration, even the Spice Girls sometimes, because there's a lot of great Spice Girl memes about sustainability. And if you ever have any questions about solar or ideas for future topics, I want to shout out Emma here. Emma, can you wave for everybody?
Hey guys.
Emma is our community manager who puts together these events. So if you've got any events or topics in mind, drop them in the chat and Emma's going to take notes so we can put them together. All right, with that, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and Jon and Amanda, you guys can take it away.
Okay, bear with me for a minute.
No problem.
I got to, so I'll bring this up, share this. Are we good?
Yep, we can see it.
Are we sharing away? Okay, awesome. Yeah, Formworks Building. Just to give you an idea, we kind of just came up with a few photos to kind of show what represents us as a company and the projects that we're typically involved in. We're a nationwide company. We built throughout the United States, Canada, Alaska. We've been into quite a bit as well. So we've been able to spread out quite a bit with these projects. Let's see if we can start. No, my button's not working.
There it is.
Okay, there we go. Just to give you that, so some cool projects across the country. This project was actually open in Oregon. Very cool interior. We'll show you some of those pictures as well. But to give you an idea of kind of what the green roof is doing, some of the facades. This one actually had a really cool solarium kind of greenhouse on top that had access from the interior. That was able to get up to the top roof and have some kind of a covered top roof patio scenario.
Some rooftop space.
Rooftop space. This would be an interior open floor plan, but to give you an idea of some of these curves, some of the cool features. Obviously,
that is so unreal. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, this the gentleman that owned this house and wasn't the original owner, but came in and did a lot of remodeling. Cool, really cool guy, but just how he took advantage of a lot of these curves, from the kitchen layout to the open space, and then doing some of the stair work that he did as well, which then you can see how that spiral stair represents that entry point getting into that solarium greenhouse on top. So kind of a cool effect.
That spiral goes right up to the greenhouse rooftop green space.
Yep.
Up there.
Shot from the other way, so kind of looking at the facade. You know, these facades can take on kind of any look, any material. We've gotten really big into ICF as well, which takes these structures and these homes into another phase of efficiency overall. But to give you an idea of some of the window, door patterns, things of that nature. This was in the one of the bedroom areas. Again, showing windows and doors, kind of bedroom space. bathrooms. This is where we kind of take advantage of a lot of the curves as well in different areas of the structure, taking advantage of that curve to utilize, as a waterproof area to do walk-in showers. We always design to make sure to a certain extent that we are able to use a lot of standard fixtures. Anywhere we put sinks and toilets, we try to make sure that we're utilizing a lot of things, not, there is a lot of custom work we do, but at the same time, there's a lot of standard work that we do as far as interior finishes are concerned, things of that nature.
Designed to be built by anyone. So any general contractor would be able to come in and help with the project and get this thing livable. Get you into it.
Yeah, anywhere, any place.
Yeah.
And then that kind of gives you an example of an annex that comes out the side of the structure to another courtyard area that was in this home. Another cool project we did in Ohio. This is kind of an aerial showing again some of the green roof effect, and then some design features again as far as facade is concerned. This is a really cool farm outside of Canton, Ohio. And then this is the interior. They do a lot of interior, exterior, kind of inside outdoor or indoor outdoor activities that they do, a lot of events that they do a lot of. So they wanted a lot of open space and a big kitchen involved in this. So that was kind of that patio out in front that kind of showed that capability of having that indoor outdoor capability. But cool kitchen, kind of showing again the free spans that are capable in these structures. Loft scenario, 2-story, single level.
Hey, Jon and Amanda, we just had an interesting comment in the chat that people are surprised at how much light the homes get, because I guess when you see the pictures, it seems like they're mostly underground. So I don't know. Can you guys talk about that?
Yeah, we design. I mean, of course, we want to meet building code. So I mean, we design to make sure from a living space that the correct amount of glazing, which is windows and doors, facade location, where we locate living rooms, kitchen relationships, bedroom relationships. So our goal is to bring in as much light as possible. But with these free spans that we're able to create with these dome structures, allows us the opportunity to really open these things up. So being able to get that amount of light in the window and door patterns, things like that filter light obviously into the structure, goes a long way. So we take that into consideration when we're designing a home. And then again, there's other opportunities like the one I showed you in Oregon, where that could be a complete cupola system or skylight system, where we're bringing a lot of natural light in through the center of these structures as well. So.
Very cool. Thank you. Yeah, I feel like that's a common misconception that they would be dark.
It is. It is one of those things that people think dark, damp. There's other things I can get into, of course, with ventilation systems, but yeah, kind of the complete opposite. A lot of people, as soon as they get into one of these homes and really see and get the feel of it, it's kind of amazing the capability we have to be able to create these spans and these open spaces and very minimal load bearing in the homes, which allows us to kind of keep those free spans open.
And the great thing is we can design a space to fit individual needs, but also have the same light, the same fresh air as a conventional home would have, but we also have the immense energy efficiency.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. And I don't want to, people actually have written more questions in the chat, but I'm going to let you guys keep going, and then I'll pepper in some.
We just do this in kind of a cool thing. They allow their cows to pretty much free graze wherever. So they spend some time on top of the green roof as well, the earth shelter portion of it, doing a lot of grazing. So kind of get a feel of that green roof effect. And then kind of a little bit getting into the the construction side of it. Everything starts with a footprint, foundation slab, whether it's slab on grade or crawl space to a certain, most of the projects we do are slab on grade for the efficiency and the load bearing effect that we require with these structures. So to give you an idea of kind of a starting point with these projects, and then moving into kind of our structural kit system. All bolt together. It all starts with a rolled steel I-beam to whatever radius structure that we're creating to create the square footage that we're looking for. This just happens to be kind of our standard, what we call our standard open-end design, to where it's a 2-level structure. Everything's bolted together. Everything is prefabricated at our fabrication plant in Phoenix, Arizona, and then shipped to the building site location. So once that foundation and slab is in place, dimensionally, we're done. We're literally just standing up I-beams, bolting things together, following a steel plan to get that structural pieces in place. Again, just kind of giving an idea of some of these I-beams to get a lot of people are very curious about how this all kind of comes together originally from the starting point, and give you an idea how you can see the bolts, hub connections, center points. You know, we do a lot of groin bolts, things of that nature, but it all pretty much starts with these I-beams and putting those into place. And then this kind of gives you an idea of some of the facade that basically is put into place at anywhere that we're ending our I-beam to that facade point to create what we call a parapet wall on that backside, but shows you the rebar grid. So we're starting to get to that point where we're getting into what we call our shotcrete process. So going from I-beams, putting the rebar grid on, thinking about these end walls, getting those into place. And this is kind of a good aerial view of Zoe Farms. It gives you a good idea of kind of the stage of foundation to steel to rebar to now we're into the forming system. The end walls are in place. Kind of a lot of cool features with this project, from 2-story to single level to annexes. A lot of different type of little configurations going on here with this project.
Yeah, this is such an interesting view because I didn't realize there were little separate domes.
Oh yeah.
Underneath all of that.
Yeah.
I guess
being a farm, we actually put on a pretty good. So the little dome that you see that's coming off to the right, off to the center there, that was ended up being a really big root cellar for them, doing a lot of storing of a lot of canned goods, things like they do on their farm, and obviously sell as well. So yeah, the ability to annex tunnel to another structure, whether it's a bedroom wing, a private bedroom wing, master suite type scenario, or over to another couple bedroom wings, that keeps us a little bit separate from kind of the main living area. Configurations can go in a lot of different directions. Yeah.
And actually, if you don't mind pausing here, just because we got a bunch of questions as soon as you pulled up this picture. Sure. How do you guys, so it was interesting to see the past image with just the steel, and then this image where it looks like there's like a shiny, I don't know I'm not an architect, so I don't know what to call it, but David asked, how do you deal with humidity?
Sure. Humidity is dealt with primarily through our ventilation system. So with every home, we design in a whole house a ventilation system that mitigates everything in the home. It's ran off a percentage timer. It's ductwork, small ductwork that we get from point A to point B. So it's all based on supply and return, and intake and exhaust. So what we're doing is we're bringing fresh air into the house and we're exhausting bad air out of the house. And then so what we do is we strategically place supply lines, return lines in areas like living area. Living area is going to get supplied air. Returns are going to be located in bathrooms, which obviously at that point we're able to take away a standard bathroom vent. Turn on to kind of get, so we're actually wanting to capture that air to make that exchange through the ventilation system. To bring in a very good temperature controlled air. So that's basically ran on a percentage and making exchanges on a percentage to keep a good quality air within the home itself.
Got it.
And these subsystems are pretty typical, especially now that homes are starting to gear more towards, you're tightening your air barrier envelope. Yeah. So the more airtight homes are, then the need comes in for these ventilation systems. So it's a very well-known, well-practiced.
Got it.
Yes. Any subcontractor.
Okay.
You can't. Yeah. This is probably one of the most airtight homes you could possibly be in. I mean, really, our only loss. Our only loss is really at the end walls. It's actually a lot easier to control the interior of these things than a lot of people think, being earth sheltered, green roofed. which we can talk about a little bit more.
Interesting. And then actually we got another question, which is, I think I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say. Adam asked, do you ever have trouble getting permit approval from the local officials who don't really know about this type of construction?
That's a good question.
Very good question. Yes. And the answer is no. We've never been denied a building permit. And the main reason is we design to building code. So light, ventilation, egress, when it comes to residential, are your three main pieces that you want to design around. And then, of course, all the material we use is all building approved material as well. So
got it. Okay.
We also structurally engineer every one of our projects, state certified. So you've got the structural engineer backing up a complete set of detailed plans. And then, of course, the fact that we do design to make sure that we meet building code across the board.
Yeah, interesting. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Sorry, you guys can keep going. The questions are coming in.
Okay. So it's kind of an interior view of kind of this process of the forming system, so to speak. This would be kind of a typical scenario of growing ball going into different segments of the structure, kind of getting into some rough electrical. But this is basically the forming system for the backing process of the shotcrete.
This was the shiny material that you saw in the previous picture.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So we're going to shoot this from the outside to create the.
This is our backstop for the shotcrete process.
Yep. And then give you an idea of where we're talking about now. So this is what we consider to be shotcrete. Shotcrete is a wet mix. So for us, being an arch structure, a lot of strength in an arch structure. We've got a thin shell technology. So nominally, our concrete's only 4 inches thick throughout this whole structure. So it doesn't take a lot of concrete to get a tremendous amount of strength, particularly when you're talking about a dome structure like we utilize. But shotcrete's a blown concrete, very high PSI. Typically, the compression strength is coming in somewhere between 6,000 to 8,000 PSI. We're real capable of running small dozers over the top of these things from a backfill standpoint. A lot of strength in this process. But
this is a very obvious question, but are they like spraying concrete on the frame?
They are spraying concrete, yes.
Okay.
This is going basically from a concrete pump through a hose to a nozzle guide, and then basically the air pressure is being added at the nozzle. So we're taking concrete and turning it and being able to blow that concrete.
Got it. Okay.
Which allows you to layer a lot easier and form a lot easier. As far as pouring is very heavy. Shotcrete is something that you're able to shoot vertical, horizontal, a lot of different applications that you're able to utilize out of it.
And if you were building an in-ground swimming pool, for instance, this is the same process that they would go through.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Kind of like an upside down swimming pool, so to speak. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's an interesting way of thinking about it. Yeah,
Sure.
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And then waterproofing, which is usually another big question, is how do we protect this structure? We've got a waterproofing system that we utilize. It's a bentonite back rubber membrane, 20 mil rubber membrane. Comes 4 by 24 feet type rolls. And everything is from the bentonite up against the concrete to the vapor barrier. And then we also kind of do what we call an abbreviated umbrella system over the structure as far as a low flow drain mat scenario. But this gives you a good idea of how waterproof the structure is. Everything's seam taped together, everything is layered correctly. So when you backfill this structure, you get the sense of knowing that this is a very protected structure. It's also a vapor barrier, radon barrier. It's pretty impermeable as far as the material is concerned. Very heavy duty and below grade type material. So never going to degrade. This is never exposed. So yeah, this is our protection that a lot of people are very interested in. How do we protect these structures long term?
Yeah, really, really, really interesting. I love how you guys are presenting it every step. I'm like, now I want to see the dirt on it. Is that coming next?
We might be getting into it while we get here. I don't know if we got into too much of the backfill, but now we're kind of getting into some finished kind of pictures.
Cool.
and kind of getting into it. This was a cool picture in Kansas, kind of a winter view. And then this is a summer view. to kind of give you an idea of kind of what this green roof capability is. Gives you a different look of kind of what the facades can do from an exterior living area. Deck space, porches, everybody's definitely wanting that indoor, outdoor living capabilities. And really showing the green roof capability from all the way over here to the left at the garage door, which all this is interconnected together to the front elevations of the main house. That would be an example of kind of a standard cupola that's also for a 2-story structure that's allowing a lot of light into that kind of that back portion of the dome as well.
This example is so interesting because I feel like we're used to seeing the very round ones, and this looks a bit, I wouldn't say a traditional house at all, but it looks a bit more like, with the peaked roof and everything.
Mm-hmm.
You might not even know that part of it is underground.
That is a good point too. The exterior facade or the window wall, really we design really to our customers' needs. So where are you building it? What do neighborhood homes look like? What styling do you like? The exterior can really take on any look that the homeowner's after. The ultra modern, the Hobbit, which is super popular, down to the log homes and the very conventional looking.
Yeah, I also love this little cat in the picture.
Yeah.
Cute.
Do you guys create a lot of the styles and then name it yourself? Like, is it other companies do the same thing, the same weird styles?
As far as our building process,
Yeah.
There's other styles of it, I guess. There's not really anybody that does what we do as far as a patent system that we do. A lot of people are amazed, but this business has been around for over 40 years now. We're a family business that her father started out of Phoenix, Arizona, thinking about the cooling scenario. I mean, heating, not so much heating there, cooling more there, heating more in Colorado, you get more on the East Coast where you're thinking more of both heating and cooling effects of it from an efficiency standpoint. But we've been doing it a long time, so we've been around the block. So a lot of people are, think it's such a new tech. We've progressed as a company, throughout the years with technology and things that are brought to us by the people we work with and the companies that we work with, to just get better all around. And it's come a long ways. So competition wise, there's other people that do efficient type structures, not always earth or green roof or earth shelter, but there's other different styles out there. But I think we kind of have our own little niche and a little bit unique in what we do. And the fact that we've got the capability of being a nationwide type company, be able to produce this as a structural kit and have a project anywhere, any place.
Yeah, that's incredible. Amanda, your family we're pioneers.
Yes. Yeah. My dad started it in Phoenix, and he was just wanted that energy independence. Cooling cost at that time in the 70s was just going through the roof. And it got to the point where a lot of people were trying to figure out do they have to move out of the area because it's too expensive to cool a home. So he just started kind of working with other engineers trying to fabricate, a way.
Yeah.
To achieve his goals, and he did it. Yeah, he's still around. He's
semi-retired.
Yeah.
He likes to work every now and then, but he's kind of said, hey, I'm ready to relax. I think he'd rather be doing a lot more traveling right now, but hey,
I know, yeah.
Are what they are, so but he likes to still think about it. We still have a lot of conversations, a lot of meetings together going through stuff. So he's still involved heavily.
That's incredible.
But yeah, he basically took this thought in his head and worked with a lot of people that he knew in the area, being an architect and in the design field, living in Phoenix. Met a lot of people and really started to engage in it and built the first one and kept going ever since.
That is incredible. That's incredible. And I feel like as a small business owner, the thought of owning and running something for 40 years is so impressive, so incredibly impressive. Yeah. Like, what an accomplishment.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Yeah, no, I've been doing it for quite a while now too. And the goal is just to keep progressing. Just keep moving forward with it. And it's I think it's becoming an alternative niche for a lot of people to think, which a lot of people do now, right? I mean, they think outside the box, whether it's solar or
Yeah.
you know, an alternative build style. There's a lot of different avenues that people want to engage in than what they consider to be traditional. And I think that's the fascinating piece to it, is that people really know that, hey, I can go do this now, and I want to do this for many different reasons. But which is a cool thing for me, because then I get to design a lot of different unique projects, custom projects, to meet their needs based on whatever it is, square footage, or I mean, we've done fun towers for astronomy. We've done, I mean, you name it. We've done a lot of different type of projects that just keeps it pretty cool. It keeps it pretty interesting.
They're all different.
So the
no project's really the same. They're
the questions for you guys are piling up. So
we should probably keep moving forward.
We should probably keep moving.
Yeah, we'll keep moving.
Ask your question.
But yeah, so this was in Massachusetts. This was a really cool project. Husband and wife actually kind of were owner builders on this and tackled a lot of this themselves over a span of time, and just kind of gives you a different facade look, different overall feel. But another cool place, another cool project. Different view of it from the opposite side. The back door, which is an upper level egress, to give the back side of this project to have kind of that back door, back lawn area. Yeah, this was an amazing project. Cool rock work.
Yeah.
Cool stuff.
Actually, this is a great example to ask. Who was it? Jacqueline had a question, and she said, from what it seems like, a lot of the pictures are in more rural areas. Have you guys ever worked with clients that are in denser areas, or do you kind of need to have a lot of space?
Good question. We have done more denser populated areas. You know, getting into kind of more of the neighborhood scenes. You know, for instance, for us, we're right on Western Avenue, heavily trafficked area in Durango, Colorado, heavy populated area of Durango, and we're right in the city, so we blend right into that scenario. So the answer is no.
You guys live in an earth shelter home.
We do, and I'll show you the picture of it. It kind of ends, yeah. Oh yeah, we do, of course, definitely. But we do. I think most of our clientele are probably a little bit thinking, you know, an acre plus or so. I mean, we built projects on half acres.
Okay.
We've gotten into some a little bit small format stuff. I would say the majority of our projects are a little bit more rural. People that own some property that's out a little ways, that want to get out of the city a little bit more.
Right.
But being said, I mean, yeah, it's very possible, and we've certainly done it over the years. Yes.
And actually,
Phoenix are in neighborhoods.
A lot of the ones we did.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. One related question from, I think it's Ilana, was asking, is there a minimum amount of space or a minimum square footage that you would need to build one of these?
As far as property is concerned, is that?
I think they're asking like property and home.
And
like, is there
total square footage of design capability? Yeah. No, we've done small, efficient vacation rental cabins, or we're actually working on some hobbit themed vacation rental.
Oh my gosh!
So we've gotten down into the 200 square foot, 250, 300 square foot cool. Individual rental units, stuff like that. So we can definitely get into the efficiency side of it and get into smaller format. And we've done a lot of those. Over
very
the years.
Cool.
So we're not. There's no minimum amount of square footage that we work with, so to speak. But property-wise, our dimensions are a little bit more than, say, a conventional home. We need a little bit more to work with to be able to do the green roof or sheltered effect, to be able to do the correct grading off the project, sloping corrects, things like that.
Yeah.
But this is kind of a prime example of some cool retaining wall effects that we also do. With projects, to be able to take and really blend in to the natural surrounding, which is appealing to a lot of people, especially our clients. So.
Yeah, definitely.
So, all right, we'll keep moving. So this is just one interior photo of that project, kind of showing some glass and interior. This is our home in Durango. This is our, we built on a pretty extreme hillside in Durango. There's nothing left in this town but hillside property. So this is to give you an idea of kind of what we call almost a 3-tier. So we actually went in between our footings to create our garage. So we will go from garage to main level, to upper level loft, where we've got 2 bedrooms, where you see the 2 dormers up top with a bath up there. And then the main living is basically our master, our main living area, and then we've got a small office that we work out of now. But give you a different look of what the capability is as far as exterior look, blending in. That was a big deal for us, being in a historic avenue, is being able to blend into some of the other homes that were in the general area. And then showing, some of the retaining rock work that we did to kind of take advantage. All the rocks you see out in front of the driveway were all rocks that we excavated out of this property.
Oh, wow.
We just repurposed them as kind of just to use them and kind of help retain the slope, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah, and it doesn't look like, I think from your other pictures, it looked kind of like this really large kind of farm landscape. And this definitely looks like you could potentially drive by it and not even know.
And it happens a lot.
There's a street, you can see we're on street level where we're looking, and there is also a street right up above. You see that telephone.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Splitting in between 2, yeah. So we bought the property in between 2 streets in a major area for a neighborhood. Yeah. I mean, granted, we've got a little bit of space, but most of the houses are pretty close. Yeah. Again, a historic kind of avenue here in Durango.
Very, very cool.
And that's just an interior photo of kind of the main level of the house. We heat. That's all we heat with. We have a 3-sided gas fireplace. It's only 30,000 BTU, and we've got 2,600 square feet. And we only heat all winter long with that house, and our house does not drop below 68. Usually stays right at 70 all winter long.
Wait. So you guys live in Colorado, right by the mountain.
Colorado.
And that's the only heater you have.
That's the only heat source that we use
for this main level and the upper level.
And the upper level. Yes.
Oh my gosh, that is incredible. So there aren't any. I mean, I feel like I'm so used to radiators in New York. There's nothing. Yeah. There's no other heat system.
No other heat system. Nope, don't need it at all.
So
Not at all.
I guess your gas bill must be really low.
It is. Yeah, compared to like anybody else that's trying to heat a home.
I think is right about $12 to $15 a month.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, we went through a really cold stretch last winter to where we were in the maybe negative to 1, 3, 4 degrees at night into the morning, and during the day we were barely getting up to 20, 25, and that lasted for about 10 days. And that month my gas bill only went up like $6. And
that is incredible.
Yeah, it's the efficiency, and we can talk about once we get through this slideshow as far as what makes us green roof and what makes us efficient.
And it is efficient, but also, we're not suffering inside. We're spending, $12 to $15 a month to heat it, but we're staying at 70 to 72.
Right.
Constantly. So it doesn't get hot when the heater turns on and then cools down like a conventional home does.
Exactly. Yeah.
Ways we're staying super constant.
Wow.
Warm temperature for me.
That's
I actually like it a little cooler personally, but she likes it a little bit warmer. And that's the funny thing about the fluctuations. They don't happen fast in a green roof home. You don't have a lot of loss in these homes. You're so protected by thermal mass that you don't have that edge loss. You don't have that cold transfer that's coming in and creeping into crawl space that changes temperatures very quickly in a home. When you're in one of these homes, you're heavily protected from the exterior environment.
Yeah.
This is a shot just looking the other direction. We kind of did a really cool kind of spiral staircase bump out for our house. Let's take the staircase out of the plan, but kind of has a cool effect that goes up to the upper level. Basically off to the right where the French door is, where we're at right now in our little home office. This was a home over in Pagosa Springs, Colorado, about an hour east of us. It's got some cool architectural features. Kind of give you an idea of some of the window patterns. lot of window in this structure.
Yeah, beautiful.
This is kind of the outside view of that. Like, what do you call
Wow.
it? The time shot?
Like
What
a
is that?
time
Time lapse shot, but that's kind of an
Very
exterior
cool.
view. That's the tower project that I was talking about that we did. So we actually put a tower in the center of this thing, and we actually took it up because he was big into astronomy and wanted a deck tower to be able to look up and do his things, but we put a stair into it.
Wow.
This was a really cool, neat project that we did several years ago. Some commercial projects. This is in Homer, Alaska. This is a couple of vacation rentals that overlooks the peninsula there. This is a kind of a cool tower, another tower that we put on the backside to an upper level egress to get to the exterior. They kind of put their own little green roof on top of it, which was really cool. But another cool project. This is kind of a front view of that as well from the vacation rentals. This is an interior shot of this vacation rental from several years ago that we got. So a lot of people enjoy staying in these.
Yeah.
They have a lot of fun staying in these type of structures.
You guys will have
yeah.
to email me when your Hobbit hotel that you're working on is done.
Will do, yeah.
So that I can, when it's safe to travel, I will absolutely go.
Absolutely. Another cool project we did last year for Society Hotel in Bingham, Washington. It's kind of a yoga retreat / they do all different types of functions, but a whole dome with a center compression ring that we put a skylight on to do a lot of central light into it. But
super good for little concerts. Just the acoustics are
Yeah.
wonderful.
yeah, they do some cool stuff with this building. But another cool project. Salt Caves over in West Virginia. A lot of people love visiting this place. It's a really cool place to go to. We did this project 3 or 4 years ago, but you can kind of see how this really blends into the environment, which was their ultimate goal there.
That was their goal.
That's an interior shot of the Salt Cave to give you kind of an idea of some of the artistic stuff that they did. Again, the beauty of it, no load bearing. Everything is self-supported by the shell itself. So they were able to kind of go in and do some really cool artistic stuff in here.
Very cool.
A wine cave that we did in Virginia. Kind of a straight barrel, but green roof. Overall, this is an interior shot of that wine cave, some barrel storage. We're actually doing another project in Asheville, North Carolina, which is going to be a really cool wine cave, event center / storage production type facility. Looking forward to that. Different look of a configuration with several openings with that green roof effect. This is what we call kind of our flared opening effect. So kind of really helps blend in and gives it a really cool look overall. One of our Hobbit inspired homes that we did.
Oh my God.
California. This is in Northern California. Great family. They had a lot of cool things that we took into consideration when we designed this project, especially when it came to that front door.
Yeah.
This is the opposite side of it, so not so much of the Hobbit effect, but a lot of their inspiration was a lot of indoor-outdoor living.
Cool.
This is what they really were looking for. Kind of an interior shot showing some of the curves, some of the interior wall details that they did. Interior shot of that Hobbit door as you're from an exterior standpoint. So they did some cool details. One of the homeowners taking care of her plants on her home, and things grow well in Northern California. So
yeah,
they did a really cool job.
Rooftop gardening.
Some rooftop gardening. This is an interior shot that we did on a project in Colorado. We actually filmed this project a couple years ago for DIY Network.
Oh, very cool. Wow.
Yeah, so we were involved in a show. It was Building Off the Grid show.
Cool.
Underground living. And this was the home that we featured for that.
Yeah.
Just another kind of view of different types of cupolas, exterior looks, from small interior or to small kind of intimate openings to get into the home, to much larger openings. We can go in a couple different directions with that. This is the interior of this home, so it's really hard to visualize from that exterior view to this interior view.
Oh, wow.
And then how open this is from an upper level standpoint to that cupola design, and then it also had a lower level. Another project we did in Ohio. It's kind of the backside. So this is kind of a really cool effect on the green roof and kind of how that all flowed together.
I love this one. It kind of illustrates what I like, and what I think is important is just kind of healing the scars from construction. You know, when we end up, our final result, we're ending up with more green space than what we started with. So I think that's super important and gratifying to see everything take shape.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, just
Beautiful.
kind of a different look on it. That's the interior of this home. So the capabilities that we do are especially from an interior exterior standpoint, can take it in a lot of different directions. Another just kind of open. This is a good example of what we call our growing bra, to where we're able to open it up in a lot of different directions and keep a very good, nice open feel in the home. So yeah, I think we're well. Then we'll end it with some deer on the roof.
There's nothing more gratifying than
with a couple of solar panels.
Nice.
There you go. Deer on the roof with solar panels.
Beautiful.
I think that's it. That's all we got for you.
Thank you guys so much. So actually, if you don't mind, if you click stop sharing, that way we can see your faces. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna spotlight you so that in the recording, hopefully you guys will show up the most. So we got a lot of questions. I'm gonna try to go through. Some of them were related. So let's see if I can go through. Emma, feel free to jump in too if you've got one in mind. I'm gonna go through and try to pick one. Oh, one question. Let me make sure I get this name right. It was Jocelyn. So Jocelyn had a question that if you had any tips, or if you guys have ever seen earth home shelters built for like communities or multi-family homes, like, you know, like imagining an apartment complex or a townhouse that was built that way.
Sure. Tips. It all, I mean, I'll tell you, when it comes to construction and no matter what you build, it all comes down to a piece of property and what that property lends to you. So yes, the ability, and we've gotten involved in a few community type environment and structures and trying to put things together. So yeah, the ability to do townhouses and do multiple really depends on the lay of the land. It's you know, it comes down to really that. That's the starting point.
Because I guess in theory, a developer could decide to build a townhome complex that is an earth home shelter if they had enough land. Like, there's nothing stopping them, I guess.
No, that's correct. There's nothing stopping them from doing that. Nope.
Yeah.
You'll be able to get through the building permit process just as if it was any other home. So.
Yeah. Wow, that is interesting. I mean, I'm sure there must be some example of that. Jocelyn, I don't know, but I would be interested in learning more about that.
Yeah, you know, we've gotten involved in a few community ideas in Canada and some other areas in the country. It just really has whatever your thought process and what you want to try to accomplish with a development. It's like any other development. If you were to go into a neighborhood and you've got 4 or 5 different designs that were similar but different, and based in different directions and road system, and it all applies. So the capability of doing that is certainly there.
Yeah. So I think, to no surprise, we have a bunch of questions on cost.
Sure.
Because I think people are interested. So I don't know if you guys feel comfortable saying like a range. I'm sure it depends on so many factors, right? Like, how big is it? Where is it? And all of those things. But I think Jacqueline asked a good question, which is like, what's the most affordable one you've ever built? Like, has anyone had a really tight budget that you guys have made work?
Yeah, I would say the most affordable would be, you know, as whether you're an owner builder or you get somebody involved in it from a general contracting standpoint, is probably our open-end 2-story structure. So that gives you the ability, anytime you build a home, and whether you build a conventional home or a green roof or a sheltered home, it's all about the footprint, and it's all about the space of that footprint. So going up, two-level structures are always going to be relatively cheaper to build because of the fact that that upper level floor system is relatively cheap square footage. So to be able to go up within the same footprint, because you've got the same foundation slab, you're just literally elevating the structure to gain additional square footage.
Right. Okay.
So standard two-level type of configurations are the most cost effective. Now, if you're looking for something smaller, my threshold, so to speak, is anytime I get from 2,000 and lower, single level structures are still comparable to two-level structures, so to speak.
Interesting.
Once you get a little bit more square footage, you're gonna dominate a two-level. Just the nature of building a two-level structure and having that square footage is gonna be more cost-effective from that approach.
Yeah. Here's a question. Like, I think what some people out, maybe I'll ask the question that maybe people are wondering, like, do you have to be a millionaire to build one of these houses? Like, is it possible with a couple $100,000 or like?
That's very, very possible with a couple
Okay.
of that. It's a big question. And I know I showed some homes that had a lot, but no, my clientele are usually in that 2,000 square foot range that are on a budget. And that's something we take into consideration right away, right? So we're designing a home to meet budget, square footage. I mean, we're taking everything into consideration. So we start from the ground up as far as design is concerned. So we're taking your wants, your needs, what you're thinking about, your budget, and we're working with that to come up with a design that's going to meet that. So yes, to answer your question is yes, you can definitely build one of these homes for a budget that's comparable to a custom built home, a well-built custom home. Yep.
Wow. And I mean, I think just in terms of like the energy efficiency that you guys were talking about, it's like a long, even if you did spend more on the build up front, that monthly savings of like the electric or gas is kind of a lifetime cost that you're getting back.
It's huge. It's huge. And we've done some studies in the past where the energy savings, like you said, it's a huge number.
Huge, yeah.
So if you were to put that number back towards your mortgage every month, because most of our homeowners carry a conventional mortgage.
Right.
And your home is actually paid off in about half the amount of time.
Yeah.
Just putting that money that you would have been paying anyway right back into your principal, paying off your home earlier. So the numbers do add up. We're about 10% more energy efficient than conventional.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I think I do a bunch of study and research on like solar savings. And I mean, like electricity and gas prices go up every year.
Oh yeah.
So it's just, yeah, that's really incredible. Okay, Emma, do you want to pick a question?
Sure. I was wondering, it says, David asked, what are some potential risks? And I guess, or what are the top rewards? I would also wonder a homeowner should be aware of.
I mean, build a home risk is the same as any other home, as far as I'm concerned. You know, again, it's construction. So we follow the same process as any other building method. I mean, building construction. Our process is a little bit different, obviously, initially, and then our final product is different. So risk-wise is, to me, the same as building other custom home. The rewards are tremendous. When you think green roof and the capability of a green roof, you got to think a lot of things. You got to think energy efficiency first and foremost. A lot of people think of, but you also got to think about the longevity. You know, we've been the longest anybody would be willing to give us as far as the lifespan of this home was. We'll take it to 100 years, but we're not going to take it any further than that. So cost of living, the maintenance on it. I mean, you're not replacing your roof. You've got very minimal from an exterior to deal with. So I mean, it's a laundry list that kind of benefits you long term. You know, sometimes I do a lot of second homes where people are wanting to leave the wintertime months in a certain area and go somewhere else. And the ability to close this home up for a long period of time and not be worried about heating the place and pipes bursting or whatever the case might be. Lot of different benefits that go into a green roof home.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible. Now I really want one. I'm sure a lot of people who are listening are feeling the same way. One question that Sylvia asked was, I'm sure it depends per project, but how long would you say it takes on average to construct from beginning to end, like once you have the design finalized?
Typical, yeah, and it does depend on size. But say a standard, most standards 2,000 square foot home with a garage, you're usually in that 6 to 8 month range from start to finish. Really, depending on the interior, can actually dictate a little bit more.
Oh, that makes sense.
Finishing the interior of a home is probably the most time-consuming part of any build, whether you build conventional or build custom. That's where you're going to spend the majority of your time. The rough end process is the quickest part of it. It's getting in and doing all the finish work. That's the more, not labor intensive, but time consuming, I guess is the best word for that. So yeah, on average, we've done some bigger commercial projects, things like that took a little bit longer. But like I tell everybody, construction is construction, and
yeah,
you got to plan on some delay here or there.
All in all,
just
it's about the
because
same as a conventional home.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
I think we actually probably speed up the process a little bit initially. Some of our interior finishing, when you get into our interior walls, and we do kind of a one coat plaster job on the interior to kind of give the interior a look, and then texture paint it. But all in all, your time frames are going to be very similar.
Yeah. So this is one last question from the chat, and then I'll put a call out if anybody wants to ask anything else, because it's almost 8. What are some of the things, so this is Sylvia asks, what are some of the things that have stopped you guys from developing? So are there like common roadblocks that you run into that have been something that you guys have had to adjust and learn how to navigate?
Just misconceptions, like we talked about at the very beginning, is the biggest, just kind of getting over that hurdle for mainstream, would-be customers. A lot of our customers are a lot more forward-thinking. They can kind of think outside the box, I guess. And
yeah,
right, yeah.
That's.
I like to think of us as a good niche, to be honest. I mean, I like the fact that we are who we are.
Yeah.
What we do. Would I want to get it on more of a commercial basis, commercialize it more? I mean, I don't know. I think we're in such a commercial world as it is.
Yeah.
And get into any metropolitan area, and everybody's smack dab on top of each other. I mean, you live in New York. So
yeah.
You know how that kind of living is. And I think our clientele, to be honest, is probably looking for the opposite of that, so to speak.
Yeah.
Getting into some custom developments and stuff like that. I could see us possibly doing that, but I think the people we work with a lot are thinking a lot different than
Yeah.
trying. That's probably my take on it for who we are as a company.
Yeah. And actually, if you guys don't mind going a few minutes over, we have 2 more questions.
That's fine. Sure. Yeah.
Jacqueline asked, Jacqueline, I'm going to shorten your question a little bit. Concrete is known for being very harmful for the environment in terms of construction. And obviously, I feel like your buildings are probably, I feel like LEED isn't a very good standard, but they probably like blow LEED standards out of the water in terms of energy efficiency. But have you guys are there other materials other than concrete that you've considered using?
For what we do in the thermal mass that we create and the amount of weight, I mean, there's just no other real alternative, to be honest with you. You just can't get the strength, the compressive strength that you get out of concrete. And the beauty of us is that we minimize it, and it's a one-time effect. So, we're not, we're not trying to take a bunch of basements all over the country and set something on top of it. We're utilizing the shell and doing it in a thin shell concept, but we're doing it for a lifetime. I mean, these are generational type homes. And then the fact that you bury the structure and make it that green roof kind of offsets that conception of using concrete overall. But you just can't get the strength. I mean, I've been approached in a lot of different avenues from a lot of different companies as far as materials that they utilize, but from an engineering standpoint, you just can't get the capability that you
do use
get.
the concrete, and in a typical home, you think you have to tear off the roof every 15, 20 years. That goes in the landfill, and so we're kind of taking that out of the equation. In the thin shell, keeping that shell at 4-inch you're taking a lot of that cost out of the equation.
And we repurpose everything. We try not to throw anything away. So even the forming system for that we use, we repurpose it on the exterior of the shell, and we bury it into place and use it as additional R value insulation on the exterior of the structure. So we try not to waste anything on our projects as much as we possibly can.
Did you say that the concrete is only 4 inches thick?
That's correct. Yep.
Wow.
It's a thin shell shotcrete that has that capability to span. And we've done a few projects where we span this stuff up to 75 feet. I mean, it's the capability that we have. Again, goes into an arch. We all know an arch is tremendously strong. And
ancient Roman architecture still standing.
There's architecture that's standing all over nothing's exposed here. So there's no way for to be honest, any deterioration.
Yeah, and I do appreciate what you were saying about how, you are making a concrete shell, but it's actually designed to last a really long time. And I think a lot of what you see in the construction industry is like the ways that concrete is used is not really designed to be there a lot. Like there's so much demolition that happens and fast erection of these buildings that aren't really designed to be there. And I think that's where you get into, it's almost like, it reminds me of like fast fashion, actually, if you guys are familiar, where you just use crappy materials and you just make new stuff all the time. And I think that's the concrete attitude that is
It is
very toxic.
A lot of the commercial industry, it tends to get outdated, right? I mean, the building gets outdated and it doesn't look, to today what they want it to look like. It's something from a long time ago. When it comes to anything, for us, we're protecting it, we're burying it. It's not deteriorating from elements. It's not going through years and years of deterioration
or being ripped
by natural disasters. I mean, that's another category for us. I mean, that's kind of one of the reasons we've gotten very popular in California because of all the wildfires. We can make a very fire protected home. When people go through something like that, the last thing they want to do is rebuild with wood.
Of course.
I've got quite a few clients out there that I'm working with for that main reason, or a family that's lost their home in a tornado. It's kind of scary to go back to a home that literally blew away from you. So things like that is kind of what creates the niche that we are. Who we are as a company.
So maybe I'll close out by saying, for the people who joined and the people who watch this recording, if someone is interested, what's the best way to get in touch with you guys?
Get in touch with Amanda.
You can find us at formworksbuilding.com and email us. Our contact information is there. We've got a great Facebook page that has a ton of project photos from start to finish. Give us a call, email.
What's the name of the Facebook page?
Formworks Building.
No. Yeah. I'm not the technology guy. I'm more the design guy. I'm more she handles all that stuff.
Amazing. Well, I learned so much from this. This has been so amazing. Thank you guys so much for sharing your work and what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you for having us. Yeah,
it was
awesome.
Emma, thank you for setting this up. Emma found you guys and I was like so blown away by your work. It was awesome. And thank you everybody for tuning in tonight.
Yeah, thanks for the great questions.
Yeah, great questions. It was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, people were really into it. So after this, I'm going to send out an email with the recording and the link, which you guys are welcome to share. And I will actually, Amanda, if you send me your Facebook page link, I can include that.
Yes, ma'am, I'll do
Okay.
that.
Yeah, I
Awesome.
can include that email so that people can follow you guys and stay in touch.
Cool.
Cool.
Awesome.
Have a great night.
Thank you.
Too.
Yes.
Thank you so
Appreciate it.
much.
Thank you guys.
Thank you so much, guys.
You're welcome. Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.